Right, so I've done videos talking about multiverses before. I did one talking about all of the leaked characters. I did one talking about characters I wanted to do, wanted to come, not necessarily in that order, because some of the characters I wanted to come are already on that list. Some of them weren't, which I'm surprised by, but you know, and I realised that I never actually did a full on proper like review or like first impressions or whatever. So I thought, what's the perfect time to do a video like that on Multiverses than like 2 months after it's come out and when I'm not even playing it anymore, and a lot of people have dropped it. And the thing that I want to talk about is why I've dropped it, or why I'm not playing it anymore. I still have it downloaded. I'm still eager to get in when it gets better, when it changes. But the thing is, the core of what the game is just not it. It's just not it for me. And you know, I complain about stuff with Avengers, but at least Avengers gets something. At least Avengers has like it's aware that there's a problem with content, at least, like, and people are talking about it as well. Like, no one's talking about the lack of content in Multiverses because either there's no expectation for it because it's free, or maybe because like everyone's just dropping the game and forgetting about it. But it's like, no, no, this thing has all of the opportunity to be the best thing ever, right? You've got every Warner Brothers property. It's a fighting game based on one of the biggest fighting games on the planet, and you can't really. I don't want it to be one of those games that's just forgotten or dropped to the wayside, because there's genuine care that's been put into this. There's genuine like thought and there's genuine love for these characters, despite Warner Brothers or Discovery not having love for any of these characters. But there's just, it's got everything that you should want for it to succeed. There is heart in this game. There is passion thrown in. There is love. There is everything but content. There is everything but playable content. I'll get into that in a minute. You'll probably notice from my voice that I sound like the mix between a dead radiator or a dying radiator and Darth Vader. That's because I'm currently coming to the end stages, but I'm still like coughing for the 2 hours before I go to sleep. I'm just laying down, just like just while I'm trying to sleep. But yeah, I'm coming through the back end of a. That makes me sound like I'm a nasty fart, which for some people I may be. But that makes me sound like I'm just that fart that won't come out, and that's what this cold feels like. It feels like a fart that won't come out. But yeah, that. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm coming out of a very like possibly one of the most painful colds I've ever had. It's not like the longest cold I've had, but it's one of the more painful ones, and that's why there's been a lack of videos. I had this video idea like a week ago, and I was like, I just don't want to get out of bed though. Like, I've got all these ideas floating through my head, and by the time that I'm better, all of these ideas will have gone, but I just cannot be bothered, and I just don't want to record while I'm sniveling and while my eyes are puffy and I can't hear a thing, and I I just couldn't be bothered to film this video, but now I'm doing it, and as I said, most of the ideas that I had for this video gone out of the window. But I do want to talk about the things that Multiversus has done right, and that is the characters themselves. The roster is great. They're constantly putting in new characters, like the space of 2 months, and we've had as many new characters be put into this as have been put into Avengers over the course of 2 years. So, this is. But the thing is, there's not anything else being worked on. They're working on Rick, working on Morty, working on LeBron James, working on Gizmo, and that's great. The characters themselves, they play really well. They're all different to each other. They all feel unique. There's no echoes, which is good. Avengers, and this is the game that this is the kind of game it's literally based on the game that popularized or that invented the word echo characters, echo fighters, and there's no echoes yet, which is great, which is really good. But we're bound to get some echo fighters at some point. We're bound to, if the game survives that long, which hopefully it does, because the concept is there, the execution is for the most part there. You just need something to do, and it's not just 2v2s, it's not just free for all, it's not just 1v1, right? Because to have a decent fighting game, you need content, and games these days live and breathe and live and die by their content. It's why so many people rag on Avengers, because when there is content, there's very little. And I know that the comparisons are not there, but weirdly they are. Weirdly, there are comparisons between this and the other game that I frequent. But yeah, the main thing for me is the lack of any kind of PvE or any kind of single player content or anything that you don't have to be online for. And that's the biggest thing. Is even if the game is free, you could have one piece of content that is like a tower mode, or a endless floor thing that's like what Injustice has, or Injustice 2 has. You could have some kind of big, super beefed up boss character, and this is something that they may be bringing in later down the line, because the game is still in beta. I'm talking about this like the game has been out for ages. It hasn't, and the game is still technically in beta, and it's not even Season 1 yet. So we have to see what Season 1 brings content-wise, because we know Black Adam's going to be fun, and Stripe is probably going to be fun as well. But what is it going to bring content-wise? And we've kind of not had much or any information about that. Is this game going to live and die by its 2v2? Because if that's the case, you're not going to live that long. Because it gets boring really quickly, and this is coming from someone who streams every day. It's like, I can't sit down and play Multiversus for more than an hour without getting genuinely bored of it. And this is a game that I want to love, but I can't. If that's all that this game is going to be, I'm not going to be playing it for much longer than past Season 1. I don't care if the roster is the best thing ever. If that's the only thing that your game's going to have, don't bother. You know, I don't think it being free is an excuse to, like, not put any other game modes in it outside of 2v2. I don't think, you know, it being free is a reason to skimp out on any kind of PvE content. It's like, even mobile games, this is a free game for a console, right? Even mobile games have something to offer. You know, like, Contest of Champions has a dedicated story mode, right? You know, and then you've got to go into monetization and stuff, and how do you monetize a game and keep the monetization feeling fair while also, monetization of a free video game is always more justifiable than, I'm not going to say it is fully justifiable, because if you put the price tag of a game as £0.0p, then you expect to get an experience, or you expect to get a fulfilling experience for £0.0p. You don't expect to get something you're going to have to put arguably more money into than you would a regular video game later down the line. And that's the thing with something like Destiny, is that you do have to put in a lot more than the regular standard price of a video game to be able to even play it. So, like, if you buy free base vanilla Destiny 2, you're not getting a video game. You're getting a beta test, right? And then you pay exorbitant amounts of money. You pay, like, the price of a full game to get expansion packs, and you can't even get all of the expansion packs. But, like, I'm not saying Multiversus should go that route. Avoid that. Don't do that. What route you should go down is, like, have some kind of PvP trust. Even if you're gonna do, like, the shortest kind of story thing, or, like, arcade mode for each character, and each character gets, like, an opening cutscene. They go through, like, a certain amount of fights where they fight, like, pick 7 characters from the roster for them to fight, and then they get a short cutscene at the end as well, kind of like every fighting game has. Just do that, right? You can do a tower mode, or you can do both, or you could do, like, the big like, world bosses, raid bosses. I don't know if a fighting game can have raids, but if you can, do it. You know, you've got a platform based fighting game. Just make the most of it, right? Make the most of this thing that you have. Make the most of this IP farm that you're drawing characters from. There's so many things that you can do with this game. Just don't settle with the 2v2 and the free-for-all and the 1v1. And don't settle with it being, like, online only, because you're gonna lose interest. You want as many people playing this game as possible, and if the DC character, and you're basing your player base as, like, only going to be interested in the characters, and there are people that are only going to be interested in the characters. I get that. I get that some people are easily entertained and easily enjoy things like that, and, like, there's people that are easily pleased. And it's like just having Bugs Bunny in a game, just having Batman in a game, just having, the ability to have Batman fight Superman, or have like Shaggy fight LeBron James. Just the idea of that is going to, the idea of selling that to people is going to get people interested. But the thing that's stopping me from really getting into the game is just the lack of any content outside of the online stuff. And if there was something online that was different to the 2v2, then sure. I mean, just give us something that's like streamable. I mean, in a more selfish way of thinking, right? I'm a streamer. I want to stream this game. I want to showcase it on Twitch, right? There's people that want to showcase it on YouTube, right? So why wouldn't you make content that's geared around content creation, that's geared around content creators being able to play the game for several hours at a time? Why wouldn't you do that? It just seems like a good business move. It just seems like a good business move, because the one surefire way you have of making money on a free video game is to get content creators that are going to be invested, that will build an audience off of this game, and that will entice them. And if you get a big enough content creator that's genuinely interested in this game, it will entice them to drop money into it, and drop a lot of money into it. And if people see their favorite content creator dropping money on this, they'll think, he's dropping money on this, I'm going to drop money on it, and the ball rolls, and that's how you get a Fortnite situation. That's how you get like an Apex Legends, that's how you get like a Minecraft kind of situation as well. I guess Fortnite is the biggest one. That's kind of what Multiverse is kind of not necessarily wanting to be, but that's what every free video game or free console game kind of aims to aspire to. They want to get to that level of popularity. They want to get to that level of like competitiveness, and they want to be an esport, and they want to like have people doing their dances on TikTok and whatever, and they want to be raking in that kind of money. And like, you're already the IP farm that you have. You don't have the legal ties to use Warner Brothers characters because you are fucking Warner Brothers, right? Or your WB Games, right? So just, you would think that you would want to make content in your game that services the kind of people that will be doing the brunt of the PR, because we're living in a world right now that the PR team isn't the Warner Brothers PR team. The Warner Brothers PR team, the people doing Warner Brothers PR are content creators, right? The people doing the brunt of the PR aren't the actual PR team. It's the content creators, the people talking about the Black Adam trailer, the people talking about Multiverses, the people talking about, WB Games malpractice, or Warner Brothers as a studio copyright striking multiple videos unfairly. That's those are the people doing the PR, not the people that are going in doing interviews, because they're not doing interviews on fucking Good Morning Britain and stuff like that, because no one watches those. No one's up early enough to watch those. Are you up early enough to watch The Rain? Are you up early enough, or whatever the the American version of Lorraine is. Who is the American Lorraine? Fucking Oprah Winfrey, probably. I don't know, but it depends what time. Like, who's up at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch some celebrity get interviewed by a Scottish woman? Yeah, what? Who? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's just my opinion on what they should do for multiverses going forward. Just use what you have, you know. Look at what all these other fighting games are doing. Look at what Smash Brothers is doing, and copy that, and just do it in a free to play format. And you know, maybe slightly water it down. You don't need to water it down. Just because it's free doesn't mean it's got to be like the light version of a different game. Hell, this could be the max version of the game, because it's got a wider catalogue of characters that it can actually pull from. I don't know if it does actually. What has a wider catalogue of characters? Warner Brothers or Nintendo? I mean, Smash Brothers is just every video game ever at this point. It has got Kingdom Hearts, which is a Sony property, but you never know. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think of multiverses, and whether you agree with my opinions, or whether you disagree and you think the 2v2 is enough, or whether you think the 1v1 is enough. And also let me know who your favourite character in multiverses is. Who's your main, and who's just your most fun to play. You know, people don't talk about that enough with any video game. Is like, who's really fun. Because I know who the best character is, I know who the most fun character is, and they're both very different. And the most fun character to play is actually not that optimal for me. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys on Twitch as well. I'm currently replaying God of War 2018, my favourite game of all time. I'm replaying that to get ready for God of War Ragnarok, which is coming out early November. I'm going to be getting it a couple of days after, just because that's when it lines up with me getting paid. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.